claims about the ethics of atheists. This should be interesting. I found this on Wikipedia, by the way, for creationist arguments. So, evolution is the foundation of an immoral worldview. No, it's not. Creationism is the foundation of an immoral worldview because you have no reason to personally be moral. You are, by definition, slaves to something that is not your morality. So if you did not make the moral choice to be good yourselves, why should you claim a higher morality over people who have chosen to be good on their own based on interpersonal relations? I mean, if God is the one who counts in your moral choices, how do you know God's moral? Is there a super God that is more moral than God? Is there a super omega God that is more moral than either of you? Who is more moral? Okay. We base our morality on the people we talk to, the experiences we've had. We base our morality on interpersonal relationships. Our relationships grow our morality. The stories we read about, the stories we learn about, that makes us moral. We think before we decide what is moral and what is not moral. So how can you, of all people, call someone else immoral when your entire worldview is dependent on someone else you don't actually have direct contact to? Now, I know you're going to claim, well, we do. God speaks this and then, but it's still someone else telling you what to do with your life. You didn't decide what is morality, you just twisted everything to fit your logic. That's not morality, that's basic nonsense. We base our morality on conversations we have every day. We focus on building up our knowledge about the world. So don't give me none of that immoral worldview crap. You're a dick for doing that. Okay, next. This one says crime rates have increased since evolution began to be taught. No, they haven't. Crime rates started to increase in the 1880s, literally right after Nixon got elected. Sorry. Okay, so one of the arguments against that is that church membership increased from 25% to 65% between 1870 and 1990. Now, you could say that crime rates increased from 1870, but if I blamed that on church going, I probably could blame a lot of immoral activity on going to someone's church and absorbing someone else's bigoted ideas. I am not saying that. You made a nonsense claim, I am countering that with a nonsense claim. Although I could make my nonsense claim less nonsensical because Christianity has been used in a lot of ways that are terrible ways of viewing the world. Hitler was hyper-religious and used religion to further the Nazi agenda. The politics that went into eugenics started off as Christian propaganda. Religious propaganda, taking Christianity and twisting it toward whatever, slavery, back in the day. Religious propaganda was used for slavery. I could probably research hundreds and hundreds of examples of religious propaganda being used against people. And before you say, well, no, that's not real Christianity, bitch, you don't have a definitive, correct, singular idea of what Christianity is. You constantly keep changing your minds about everything, about most things. You constantly keep changing your minds, and you constantly keep rewriting your own history. So, don't give me none of that shit. Evolution has been around. Evolution is part of science. There's no such thing as the survival of the fittest nonsense politics argument. That's your thing. That's something you turned into a political fascination, a political... It's annoying. You keep bitching about that argument. It's not that argument. It's a phrase from Darwin. Survival of the fittest. Yes, survival of the fittest from a scientific point of view. More specifically, it's the survival of the most likely to survive. So then get me out of that crap. As soon as Ronald Reagan, the messiah of the Republican Party, got elected, crime rates exploded. I could go on for days about insane, psychotic, crazy things that are directly the fault of Republicans. So don't get me out of that crap, okay?